Point USA when he was just 18. Charlie Kirk. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. Today, the White House will commemorate the 24th anniversary of one of America's darkest days. Almost 3,000 people were killed in the 9/11 attacks in New York, at the Pentagon, and in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. The Denver suburb of Evergreen dealing with a school shooting. The gunfire yesterday at Evergreen High School wounded 2 students at midday. The gunman, according to police, took his own life. Wall Street, the Dow futures up 80 points. NASDAQ futures are ahead 71. More details at srnnews.com.
About this, some actual good news on the healthcare front, even as costs just keep skyrocketing. So if you're 65 or older, MediShare now offers MediShare 65 Plus. Call them. You can talk to them about this. A lot of people are taking advantage of this now because even if you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are out-of-pocket things, deductibles and co-pays that just keep going up. And the whole point is to help you by giving you a low, consistent monthly payment that fills in the gaps. In fact, I can tell you how much MediShare 65 Plus is. For example, it's $99 a month up to age 75. It keeps costs under control. That helps with peace of mind. MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around for 30 years, and it's a community of people who help each other. Business owners, retirees, pastors, teachers. People love being part of it. Here's the number you can call now. They are easy to talk to. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, an NWKS radio station.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales. Just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Today, winds will become more south-southwesterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts of 25, and with sunny skies, highs will warm into the 90s, even with a foggy start here this morning. Remains dry as storms will stay west in Colorado. This evening, tonight, southwesterly winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour, and thus fog is not as likely, but some clouds are possible. Lows will be in the lower to mid-60s. Tomorrow, Gulf moisture and humidity will increase. Highs will be in the upper 80s to low 90s ahead of a cold front. It'll drop overnight lows to around 60 and bring some scattered shower and storm chances. Stronger front is expected to move through Saturday afternoon, bringing a slight risk of severe weather, while Saturday and Sunday's highs will drop into the 80 to 85 degree range and overnight lows 50 to 55. Monday and Tuesday, a high pressure ridge will briefly build back into the area, leading to the return of warmer and dry condition. Highs in the mid to upper 80s, lows in the mid 50s. This meteorologist Chris Stromick and then WKS Radio Weather Center.
This season, the Mile High Magic is live on Rocket 102.5. Every hit, every pick, every end zone dance, we've got it all.
5-man pressure. Rogers hit before he throws it. Sacked. P.J. Locke bounced up into the air, bounced again, and then caught by Devon Vele. Touchdown, Denver.
Brought to you by
Vince's GM Center, Praxi Feed Yard Imperial Beef, Simbelman Jewelry, Tubbs & Sons Sports Sales, F&B Bank, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC.
Your home for Denver Broncos football. Rocket 102.5.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call?
Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace. Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon, he'll score. Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
Drawn in the ice, blasted to left field. Quan is going to play it off the wall on a bounce. Garcia commits to second base, and that throw is offline by Stephen Quan, and the Royals take the lead and have a runner in scoring position. That ball's drilled high and deep to left field. Yiner Diaz gives the Astros a 3-2 lead in the ninth. First pitch, left field, Laureano coming on. That's down, base hit. De La Cruz scores. Laureano dropped the ball. He spikes it in the turf. Hayes goes to third on Duhart. Base hit off the pine. It's 2-1 Reds. Ground ball fair. The Orioles do it again. They don't always win games, but when they do, they prefer walk-offs.
I love that call. That's great. They don't always win games, but when they do, it's a walk-off. I like that. I could roll with that. Always appreciate a great call. Any morning. Happy Thursday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz. Ross Volkmer and Connor Schuh with you here for the next hour on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, also NWKSradio.net, as well as, of course, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, X, and Facebook. So glad that you are joining us here on today's program. How were the eggs this morning, Connor? Were the eggs good?
They were wonderful, as usual.
I forgot to ask, how do you cook your eggs? Are you a scramble man, over easy? Does it change?
I typically scramble them. I've gone over easy a couple of times, but I don't know what it is. I think scrambling them is just, simple, easy, gets the job done in the quickest amount of time. So I typically go for that.
Do you like, how about egg? Do you like salsa on eggs, or you just cheese? What do you like? Is there just plain eggs?
Sometimes I'll have them plain. Sometimes I'll cook them with pepper in the mix there. And sometimes I got this from a roommate a couple of years ago, but sometimes I'll put ketchup on them, and that that it sounds awful. I totally denied it at first. Then I tried it once and it was really good.
See, but to me, I love salsa on eggs. So I like salsa. Reds, medium salsa. I love this 505 salsa that I found. It's really, really good. It's more of a green chili salsa. I love salsa on my eggs. That's what I really
Sounds
like.
good.
Oh, it is. 505 salsa. Go find it. Free shout out there for 505 salsa. But yeah, it's really, really good. Green chili salsa. Put that on your eggs. That'll make you feel good. Make you feel real good in the morning. So,
Wake you up.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it's help you with that calorie intake maybe a little bit, since apparently you're on a shortage. Anyway, a foggy start to this Thursday morning, at least here outside the KKCI studios. Is it foggy over in Colby?
It a little bit. My windows were all fogged up when I went out to my car this morning, but honestly, out in the streets, it wasn't too bad here.
I mean, it's not like where it's going to affect your driving too badly, I don't think. But, we're about a quarter of a mile away from, maybe a bit less. Yeah, probably about a quarter of a mile away from the water tower here in Goodland. One of the water towers, the Eastern Water Tower in Goodland. And it's a little covered up by some fog this morning, so it can't quite see it clearly. So a little overcast day, but don't worry, it's going to burn off. We're actually going to have our warmest day of the week to this point in time. Temperature is going to reach into the low 90s here on the high plains. And we'll see tomorrow be a same typical type of day, hot, maybe even a little windy. And then Saturday and Sunday, some cooler temperatures coming our way with temperatures back into the upper 70s. So outlook for the weather forecast. Today's program, we're going to be visiting with Fort Hays Tech Northwest Athletic Director Rory Kling. He'll be joining me in studio and joining us on the program to talk about Fort Hays Tech Northwest. They got some really big news regarding a golf tournament that's happening in the local region. So we're going to talk with Rory about that and plenty of other great topics as Rory Kling will be stopping by here in about 15 to 20 minutes to visit with us about all that. Busy day in high school sports. We'll get to the schedule in volleyball, also cross country and golf today. Last night, Colby Community College volleyball getting a win over Hutchinson in straight sets, 25-19, 25-20, 25-17. They have now won. It's their 9th sweep of the season. They're 9-2. Whenever they've won, they've swept. They don't always win, but when they do, it's a sweep. For Colby Community College volleyball. And so we'll get some more on them. They have a big tournament this weekend up in I think it's in Colorado. So we'll get to all that coming up in today's program. And of course, we have the NFL Power 5, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. Yesterday we did college football. Today we look to the NFL for the Power 5. Anything to add right off the bat this morning, Connor? Anything on your mind of obscurity? Always love to start off the show with obscurities.
I mean, I'm just excited to talk some ball, but I'll give the Royals some quick credit for taking that game last night against my Guardians. Tough one.
Yeah, got it done. Little comebacker there little late comeback for them. Rockies, by the way, did not have any comeback in them. They gave up a grand slam in the 8th, and that was, it was all
9-zip, right?
9-zip, yeah. So
I think they got 2 hit.
Yeah, they did. I think that's a combination of what? I think that's either 3 or 4 hits over the last 2 games against the Dodgers. Oh. I don't know what's worse. They had 2 hits, which is bad, but they were struck out 17 times last night. I don't know which one's worse.
I think the 17 strikeouts might be worse because at least you're putting it in play a little bit.
Yeah.
With, a few ground outs here and there. If you only have 10 strikeouts, maybe.
No, 17 Ks last night for the Rockies. They are limp dragging across the finish line. They are just, please get us to the end of this massacre so we can be done and just go home. We're tired of this. It's 106 losses. The record just keeps getting bigger and bigger for how many losses that they're going to have to finish up this season. So anyway, okay, let's get cooking this morning. So right now it's time for the NFL Power 5, the top 5 games we got an eye on in week 2 of the NFL football season. All right, Connor, as you know, I love to have an honorable mention game in there. Do you have an honorable mention game at all? If not, I will take this.
I think honorable mention is going to be kind of like yesterday, a little bit of a homer pick, but
here come the Browns.
It's going to be it'll be Browns Ravens, and why, you might ask, is because last year the Browns had 3 wins. One of them was against a great Ravens team. This year, I don't know. Anything can happen at 12 o'clock on a Sunday, and I think with the Browns defensive line and how the Ravens collapsed last week. They might be coming back with a vengeance, so everything I say could just totally fly by the wayside. But I think there's a very slight shot of an upset with the Browns' ability on the defensive side of the ball and with how Joe Flacco was slinging it the other day and how that Ravens defense looked against the Bills. So I don't know. It's possible. Ravens probably roll the Browns, but I have my hopes, and there's a chance of that being a fun, close game.
Okay, question for you, being a Browns fan. Okay, actually, multiple questions. When you grow up in Ohio, where's the divider line between Cleveland and Cincinnati like to be fans of either of those teams? Like,
it's usually around Columbus is what I've noticed, around basically that midpoint of Ohio, but you have some people who are south of that area who are still Browns fans. But
once again, for those people who don't know, Connor's he's on Lake Erie, right?
Lake Erie, yes.
Yeah, right on Lake Erie. So he knows all about boats, which we'll get more onto that later on in the weeks. We'll talk about boats. But anyway, and then the question would be during training camp and before the season began to where you are now, which is only a week into the season, how much has your optimism gone up or down about this Browns team based upon their performance in week 1?
Up, absolutely.
Okay.
Up, because obviously we had some very awful back-breaking mistakes that lost that game, but the way we played on either side of the ball, for the most part, I think inspired a lot of confidence. We moved the ball quite a lot for a team that struggled to do so for the majority of last season, and the defense was looking up. It was better than it was last season, especially on that defensive line. Myles Garrett is healthy and playing his butt off, and I think that's really all we need to succeed. I mean, our rookies were looking good. Tight end Harold Fannin from Bowling Green State University, another Ohio institution. He balled out week 1, 7 catches, and our rookie running back Dylan Sampson, 8 catches. So young guys were playing well. We were moving the ball. I think that's all we could really ask for.
And there's your Browns update for this week with Connor Schuh. Okay, moving on. My quick honorable mention. I'm actually going to Miami, where the Dolphins host the New England Patriots. This game says yuck, but it's honorable mention for me because is Miami really as bad as they looked in week 1? That's the question I have. And if Mike Vrabel has the Pats going in the right direction, I feel like they win this game. Which, I don't know. Patriots lost their season opener too, so both teams are 0-1. This just kind of feels like who's vying for the bottom of the AFC East? It's one of these two teams. Whoever gets this win gets the leg up at least early on. That's why I'll take that. Right now, Miami, 1.5-point favorites at home. All right, let's move along.
The Power 5, number 5.
What do you got at 5?
Right now, I'm looking at Tampa versus Houston. I think that's the first game on Monday night. There's a 2-game slate.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be a good one because Tampa, they had a thriller in week 1 against the Falcons, won that one by the skin of their teeth. And Houston, their offense didn't look like it usually does with CJ Stroud against the Rams in week 1, and the Bucs have a good defense. So I think it'll be another good test for them to see if they can try and pick things back up to what they looked like last year, and especially 2 years ago. And of course, CJ Stroud is a fun young quarterback to watch along with some of those pieces. With Houston, like Tank Dell finally healthy in that receiving room, and Nico Collins healthy as well. I think their aerial attack is going to look good, even against the Buccaneers. Tough secondary, and I think Baker on the other side is going to be able to at least somewhat match him stride for stride, and they've had a lot of things looking up in their receiver room with Emeka Egbuka, 2 touchdowns in week number 1. Mike Evans, great as always, and they're still waiting on Chris Godwin, but they're doing a lot of good things.
My number 5 is Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Right now, the Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. Jacksonville looked good. Now, it was against Carolina, so once again, you have to take that kind of with a grain of salt. But at the same time, they look good. I always feel like Trevor Lawrence has never quite hit his potential. Maybe Liam Cohen finds a way to actually get it out of him consistently for a season, which would be about right because I thought it was going to be Lashley. He was going to put it together and had him on my fantasy football team, and that did not work. But this would be the year that he'd get it done. And then Cincy, of course, and the Browns were in a tussle. We all know Cincinnati's offense, I think, is elite, dynamic. If you want to put it that way, defensively, though, scary. Not in a bad way, is Cincinnati's defense. So which one is more true? Are the Bengals not as good as we thought they were, or are the Jags better than we thought they were? Once again, questions in week 1 that I have. Cincinnati 3.5-point favorites by number 5 in the NFL Power 5. All right.
Number 4.
What's 4?
I have Denver versus Indianapolis. The line is only 1.5 on this one. It's very close. It's one of the afternoon games on Sunday, and it's an interesting dichotomy between these two teams because I think Indy overperformed in week 1, and feel like some would say the Broncos kind of underperformed in week 1.
Probably.
Yeah, threw a couple picks. They turned the ball over 4 times and didn't look awesome against the Titans, who they did still beat in fairly convincing fashion, even though they didn't look the best. But I think Bo is probably looking for a big bounce back game, and this is a week where Daniel Jones can really prove himself if he's, really back and going to be the guy for Indy against a pretty good Broncos defense. So I think there's a couple of fun storylines for this one.
No doubt about it. My number 4 is going to be Bears and Lions. Both teams are 0-1 in a very tough NFC North division. I expect these teams both to have better records when the season gets rolling down the road. But this is an interesting game because I don't know. I just feel like the Lions, for sure, and I know they're taking on the Packers, but it just felt like the Lions just looked like a shell of themselves in that first game. They did not look the same. Now, once again, I understand they lose their OC and their DC, but man, there's a lot of players still there that were from a really, really good team last season. So it's hard for me to fathom that you're going to drop off that much because of those losses, but maybe so. And I don't know, the Lions, the Lions are 5.5 point favorites at home. I would think they're going to be able to put things back together here and look better. But the Bears, they have flashes of brilliance and flashes of just horribleness. So I don't know which Bears team you're going to get. But if both teams show up and play well, I think this is a very entertaining game between the Bears and the Lions, despite it being a 5.5 point spread, which is pretty big in NFL football with the Lions with 5.5 point favorites at this point in time. All right, moving on.
Number 3.
One quick thing. I think 5.5 is definitely a little too big for that game after how the Lions looked. But
a little big.
My number 3, I think it's the Falcons and the Vikings, the primetime game for Sunday night. Michael Penix, a lot of hype coming into this year. I love watching him play, and he was slinging it all over the yard last Sunday against the Buccaneers and came so close to a win. He had a throw that probably should have been a touchdown to win the game in the final minutes, but his receiver, Kaderil Hodge, looked like he wasn't really paying attention and kind of just watched the ball sail by. So I'm sure Michael Penix is looking for a little bit of revenge on whoever he sees next. And this happens to be the Minnesota Vikings that are coming off the opposite, a big comeback win in week 1 against the Bears in pretty convincing fashion. J.J. McCarthy, got to admit, he looked pretty good in that fourth quarter. So now he's going to try and prove it.
Fourth quarter.
He's going to try and prove it over an entire game against a fine Falcons defense. They don't have anything crazy on that side, but I think that's going to be a fun young quarterback duel. And that's a national championship rematch from 2023, Michigan and Washington.
Very valid.
Quarterback rooms.
Great storyline there. I do like that. I don't know what it is about me. Growing up, I was a big Michael Vick fan. Loved Michael Vick. Loved him with the Falcons. But now, anyway, any game that has to deal with the NFC South, I really have no interest in, and I don't know why. No, and it doesn't matter. Buccaneers, Falcons, Saints, Bengals. I mean, any game that mostly they're in, I have no interest in, and I don't know why. And that's why I didn't even make my list, even though I love that storyline.
Wow.
A repeat of the national championship game quarterback matchup. So J.J. McCarthy looked okay. He's got a lot of things to work out. He still looks a little unpolished, shaky, I guess. Penix has looked decent, at least early on, which I'm not surprised. He was such a great thrower of the football at Washington. So I don't know. We'll see about that. I still think it is an intriguing game. I will give you that. My number 3 game is actually one you mentioned earlier, Colts at Broncos. Once again, the theme of my day of the Power 5 today is what we saw week 1. Are we going to see it again in week 2? Because then that becomes a trend. The Broncos defense is elite. I feel like we're going to see that again. But the Colts looked really good offensively. I mean, they really look good with Daniel Jones under center. Can he back that up again against a much better defense? That's what I want to see from the Colts. Can they get Jonathan Taylor rolling a little bit more in the running attack? He didn't have a huge game in that win. I mean, he had 18 carries for 71 yards. It's okay. I would expect him to usually get a touchdown and 100 yards if I'm Jonathan Taylor, usually. And then, and probably the bigger question is, what in the world are we seeing with Bo Nix, and what is he going to be like? Is this the trend we're going to find for Bo Nix, where we have more interceptions and touchdowns? This is the sophomore slump that we've all been talking about for months. Is that what's going to happen? That's what I want to find out more, because I don't think the Colts defense is just, head and shoulders better than everybody else. They're a solid defense. So is this what Bo Nix are we going to get? Because boy, if Bo Nix has another game like he did, this is a trend that is not good for Broncos fans. Not good. You're going to have the best. You're going to have the best defense in the NFL and an offense that gives it away most of the time, and that's going to be hard to win. So that's my number 3 in the NFL Power 5. All right, moving on.
Number 2
for me, it's the Commanders and the Packers tonight. Thursday night football. That's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, battle of 2 young quarterbacks who were incredible last year, Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels. And Daniels did his thing last week, didn't really have to do a whole lot against the Giants. So this is his first test of the year, I guess, to really prove that last year wasn't a fluke. And I think you could say something similar with the Packers. Of course, they passed the first test in week 1, beating up on the Lions, but this is a bit of a prove it thing, like we were talking about earlier with the Colts. Like, can they do it again? And this is the thing. Can Jordan Love and the Packers do it again against a solid Commanders team? I think this would be a good win for them to have going 2-0 into the 3rd week of the season. And again, for Jordan Love to continue to solidify himself as one of the great quarterbacks in the league. And that's what this quarterback duel really brings to me. 2 young guys who are gunning for some of the top spots in the league to take up some of the guys who are starting to age a little bit, like even Patrick Mahomes. Not to say he's old, he's 30, but starting to turn that corner into the older territory. But guys like him, I think Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love are gunning for those top spots, and this is going to be a game where they can prove it.
Yeah, my number 2 game is going to be your number 1 game. I can guarantee it. I've actually got Chiefs and Eagles at number 2. I guess that's because I don't know why. Yes, it's a Super Bowl rematch, so yes. But does Casey get back on its feet, or is it going to start 0-2? I don't know the last time the Chiefs started 0-2, particularly in the Mahomes era. I don't think it's probably ever happened. The Eagles are not an easy opponent, and even though the Chiefs are, and who would have thought the Chiefs are 1.5-point dogs at home? Who would have thought that? I mean, I hate to say, what if the Chiefs lose this game? I mean, what if they do? What if they start 0-2? I mean,
doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. And we had Nick Athen on Monday, and he's talking about how they don't have a great running back now. Pacheco's done, and Worthy's out till week 4, it sounds like. I just don't know. I mean, the Chiefs really need this game, because if you look at the Chiefs' schedule, folks, it's a tough one here early on. We knew this. But, they still have the Ravens in a couple weeks. They got the Lions coming up, the Commanders, the Bills, at the Broncos. That's all in the first half of the season. They got a very daunting schedule ahead. And to drop that first game against the Chargers is tough, because you're kind of putting yourself behind the 8 ball. This is a very difficult game. But at the same time, the Eagles didn't exactly look as dominant as I thought they would against the Cowboys. I thought they'd look better. So that's why I guess it's number 2. This would have been number 1 if both teams played to their potential in week 1. I don't think either of them did. That's why it's number 2 for me. All right, and you can just continue on, because this is your number 1 game.
And I totally agree with you that both teams didn't really play up to their potential in week 1. And I think that's kind of what brings it up a little bit, as I've talked about a lot with many of these matchups. It's kind of a prove it type of deal for this year. Can these teams play like they did last year? And I think that's what this game is all about. 2 of the powers in the NFL at this point in the season. I mean, of course, it's a Super Bowl rematch, so how can you not get excited about that, regardless of where these teams are? But it might be a sign of things to come. Like, let's say, I don't know, like, what if the Eagles just roll the Chiefs? I mean, that doesn't look good. I don't think that's going to happen. But if something like that happened, or conversely, if the Chiefs rolled the Eagles, I think that would be a bad omen for the rest of the year. And that's not why I'm picking this game. I mean, it's supposed to be a good game, of course. But you see the line. I mean, looking at it right now, 1.5.
Dogs at home, man.
Yeah.
Rare. You don't see that.
I'm surprised about that, but I think the crowd's going to be in their favor, and Mahomes is probably going to be playing with his hair on fire. I'm sure he is just mad as ever about week one. I mean, that dude is a real competitor, and I'm sure Jalen Hurts wants to bring it to him just as much as he does him. So you said it. It's going to be a great matchup. I'm really excited to watch that one.
Number 1.
And my top game is, like you mentioned earlier, Washington Commanders, Green Bay Packers. That's tonight. I think this game is the best game because you have, I think, probably two of the best teams in the NFC after week one. They're facing off. I mean, this is an NFC championship game if the season were coming down to it right now. But if you're based upon how the two best teams, who are the two best teams in the NFC, just by looking at them and watching them, those were these two teams, I think, for the most part, last week. And like you mentioned, you said a lot of great points. Great young quarterbacks. The storyline, of course, continues with Micah Parsons now in green and chasing after Jalen and Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels chasing after him. Yeah, and this Washington team, I think, is built for a Super Bowl because they've added so many good pieces, whether it's Deebo Samuel or Von Miller. I've always been a big, humongous Austin Eckler fan.
Von Miller.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, they got all kinds of guys on this roster. Packers 3.5-point favorites at home. It's because they're playing at Lambeau Field. That would be why. But I think this game tonight is the best one of the slate for the NFL. It's my opinion. Best one on the slate. And like I said, Kansas City, Philadelphia, really good game. But this game just intrigues me more, I guess. Maybe it's because we saw that Super Bowl game. We saw that not that long ago. We saw what happens. And the Chiefs apparently haven't gotten off the mat yet. So that was a bad one. That was a bad Super Bowl. That was a tough one for a lot of Chiefs fans. All right, we got to get to a break. 7:32 Mountain, 8:32 Central Time. Coming up, Rory Kling, Fort Hays Tech Northwest Athletic Director, going to join me in studio. By the way, getting foggier out here. Actually, I cannot see the water tower now as I look out my window to the north. So getting even foggier here in Goodland. So take a break, come back. We'll talk some Fort Hays Tech Northwest Athletics with Rory Kling next here on the Blitz.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas with your morning market update. It's Thursday, September 11th in the overnight session. D's corn unchanged 417, March up half cent 435, D's at 26 unchanged 458 and a quarter. Soybeans on the November up 6.5, 1031 3/4. Jan up 6.5 at 1051 1/4. March up 6 at 1067 even. KC wheat on the December down 3.5, 503.5. March down 3.5, 524. July at 26 down 3 1/4 at 550 1/4. Chicago wheat down 2 3/4 at 512 1/4. Feeder cattle finished yesterday at 353.20. Live cattle 231.15. Lean hogs 96.82.5. Crude oil futures down 92 cents a barrel at 62.75. Gold futures down 13.80 an ounce at 3,629.80. Silver down a dime at 41.15. U.S. dollar index down 1 point at 97.73. Dow futures up 98 points at 45,638. S&P futures up 16. 6,556. Need to move any cash green or want to talk about risk management, can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Sludo, or Tyler Gosha, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hankey or John Styles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Farmers and ranchers, are you looking to sell your equipment at auction for 0 fees and 0 commissions? Well, then you need to check out Hayden Outdoors' new online equipment auction platform. You can list your equipment in our monthly online auctions using our easy-to-use platform, and you don't pay any fees or commissions. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to learn more. That's HaydenOutdoors.com.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure our world. Then share them with family and friends.
From the headlines to the highlights.
It's good! The Wildcats are champions of the Big 12!
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, we continue here on a Thursday morning, September the 11th, 7:37 Mountain, 8:37 Central Time. Rory Kling joins us in studio, as you can see on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Rory has been at it this morning. He's been up since 2:30. He's got a new little one in the house, and he had to go help with the flags this morning. So he is. You know what? I'll give you credit, Rory. You are pretty bubbly for being up since 2:30, my friend. I will give you credit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm doing. I haven't had any coffee yet, so we'll get going. But yeah, Kiwanis is a big deal for us, so I would get all the athletic teams out there every time in the fall semester. And so, this morning was women's wrestling and men's wrestling, so I got them up at 5:30 in the morning to come help me put them up, and then tonight at 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'll have softball help me take them down. So we take our part in that Kiwanis flag project.
It's a great project, and a lot of people volunteer for that. It's fantastic. Today it's not been the school year has just really gotten going, but it's been busy as it always is. I want to start off with the big news. The big news you were telling me Friday night in the press box. You were excited about how you guys got was it a bid or to get the golf event coming here? How does that all go about? And tell us more about this.
Yeah, so hopefully, talking to Jake Ripple, the AD down at Dodge, and Mike Sadler, the AD the conference commissioner for the Jayhawk. So this year, Region 6 or the Jayhawk Conference is set to host the Women's District Championship in April. And so that's going to include, like wrestling is, the district is including Kansas, Oklahoma, a little bit Arkansas. And so with golf, it's Iowa, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, Region 9, some of those schools out there. And so they were just talking about it, potentially if sites close or centrally located. And I threw out Sugar Hills back in April and at our July meeting. And they were like, well, do you have 18 holes? I said, yes. I've been trying to get all UADs to come out here and play one of these days and have a conference meeting in Goodland, Kansas. But you said you won't come to Colorado. So that was the running joke. So they don't want to come to Mountain Time or Colorado. But so, yeah, potentially we're going to have 8 to 9 JUCO ladies teams coming to Sugar Hills last week of April next year. And whoever wins there will go to the Nationals Championship. I'm not sure where Nationals is for women's golf. We don't have golf, obviously. So one of those where they needed a course, and I threw it out there to hopefully get some exposure with Goodland and Sugar Hills, and hopefully it has a course of a rotation in the future.
No, I mean, it's big. And the tough part is always breaking down that door, to get that first thing. And so to probably get that checked off the list is a big accomplishment.
Yeah. And obviously, most people know being on interstate is very huge. So if people are flying into Denver, coming out here, that's a quick drive. Iowa, you can drive. It's all interstate for the most part, unless you're coming down through Lincoln or Council Bluffs and coming down that route. But yeah, just to have some exposure to Goodland and show them what we have out here at Sugar Hills. So.
Rory Kling is our guest here in studio. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Athletic Director. Sports are rolling. Cross country's going. Shooting sports are going for Fort Hays Tech Northwest. Kind of give us an update. What's happening there?
So shooting sports, they're often shooting, I guess, as you want to put it, instead of often running like cross country is. But we've already been to 2 shoots. We had the freshman shoot at Hayes, and then we went to another shoot that we went and we're ready to go. We are going to set to host our very first shoot in Goodland, Kansas, another event that's going to be in Goodland, hoping to bring 10 to 12 shooting sports teams from 4-year to different JUCOs around the area to Goodland, Kansas. It's the weekend of Flatlanders, so it's going to be a busy weekend. But Melvin's got all his throwers, his trap ski, sporting clays, all that other stuff ready to go. So we're set to host our first shooting sports event in Goodland, Kansas as well. So that's busy. And then cross country with the late arrival of Miguel, our head track cross country coach. We're a little down this year from talent wise, but we've got Salisu coming back as a sophomore. He's got some times. He's going to improve throughout the year. And then we've just got some guys that have been more interested in the school, and then they're going to do what they can. And this year's a rebuilding year for us on the cross country side. And same with track, just with trying to get Miguel in as soon as we could. And unfortunately, when it's late July, mid-July, it's hard to recruit anybody to start school on August 11th when we only got about a month to recruit kids that have already committed. So
I was curious about the shooting sports. That's something that hasn't been going on a super long time, but I feel like even in the short amount of time it's been going on, it has been very successful. Could you kind of expand upon that? I mean, because I feel like you look at they got a pretty good sized roster. And I feel like there's some pretty highly talented young people on that shooting squad.
Yeah, Melvin Crow started the program. I believe we're on year 5. That was one of those when soccer dropped back in 2019, right before COVID. We were just trying to find something that was a niche in the area, and obviously the 4-H had a team, high school had a team. I said we might as well just have a college team too, and hopefully try to keep those kids in Goodland. And so when we did that, a lot of it's you find some guys that have or girls. We got a couple ladies on the team this year that have never shot before, and they're just interested in it. And then we have some that have been shooting their whole life, and they're really good. We're potentially top 5 in the country as far as JUCOs go for shooting sports. And it was just one of those where it fits our niche with tech kids and diesel guys, welding guys, carpenter guys, electrical. It fits that very much so as it does with wrestling. It's pretty easy to find kids that are interested in that. And so we try to get Melvin to get up to 20 kids every year. I think we're sitting about 16, 17 right now, which is pretty good. We did have about 4 kids drop. It's the only sport on campus where they kind of have to pay to be on the team. So it's a club team. The NJCA tried to get it going a couple of years ago as an emerging sport, and there's a lot to it as far as the different competitions go. Between just going out and shooting blue rock is completely different than doing skeet and sporting clays and everything else. And so that was the level they just wanted to do, basically just trap, and no kids were interested in just competing in trap. They want all the other curriculums as well. And so that's what we did, and we're running. So
Rory Kling joins us in studio here on the Morning Blitz, Fort Hays Tech Northwest Athletic Director. I think what fascinates me about at least the shooting sports things is that I didn't know much about that growing up, and it really is a humongous thing, and how many kids do it. And honestly, I've been impressed with how many events they go to. They feel like they have an event almost every single weekend.
Yeah, fall schedule is packed. It's almost it's almost every weekend for sure, every other weekend. And then they're huge, which it's kind of crazy because, I mean, we have softball that has fall ball, and then they go play in the spring, and they have a full season of spring ball. With shooting sports, you have a full season of shooting sports in the fall. Then you take the winter off, and then you come back, have 1 or 2 shoots in March, and then you go to nationals. And that's the crazy part to me is you have basically, I mean, we practice throughout the year, but as far as those competitions go, as you know, it's completely different. Practice is one thing, but actually getting out there and doing it in front of a whole crowd of people is completely different. And so by the time we come back in the spring semester, practice a couple times, go to a couple shoots, and then go to nationals, and we're still able to compete in the top 5, then it's pretty remarkable.
What is the process? You talk about how you're hosting an event here in a couple weeks on Flatlanders Weekend, the 27th of September. When you host an event, do you have to bring out bleachers and stuff like that? Are you going to have, or do they have that out there? I mean, I've been by a few times, but I bet don't put a gun in my hands.
Yeah.
But, Not that I can't operate it, but you don't want to see me miss. So anyway, or just waste a bunch of money. So anyway, I was curious, do you have to roll out bleacher stuff for spectators?
I think they're going to bring some out this year just so we are prepared for whoever's here. Obviously, with Flatlanders Weekend, there's going to be thousands of people in Goodland. So if they end up showing out to the gun club on Saturday and Sunday, great. And we're going to provide stuff for them. I believe engineering is going to help with making food and concessions and stuff like that. The engineering department is going to help out with Jonathan McClung and his brother Jonah as the assistant coach. So having some local guys there that are willing to help out in the program, but a lot of it's storage and throwers. That's really all the work they've been putting into. A lot of electrical and some concrete's been going in. They just put in a couple rows of windbreaks out there on the north side to help with some of that wind. But yeah, a lot of it, Melvin's been doing it a long time. And so with 4-H and high school shoots, he knows what he's doing, and we just let him run with it, and he knows what he's got to do.
Rory, nice to meet you, man. I'm Connor.
Yeah.
What's the following like there for a sport like shooting? How big are the crowds like? What is the fan base like for that? I'm curious.
If you go to a shoot, it is very similar. I would say very similar to a cross country meet. So you have hundreds of parents following kids around, or like a track meet. I mean, they're just following the kids left and right all over. Nationals is insane. They already, I believe here pretty soon, they're already going to, you already put in your registration for how many guys you want to shoot. And so we take 2 vans down there. We usually do an Airbnb because it's cheaper than hotels. And Melvin takes all the chucker and pheasant that he has collected over the winter and cooks that up for the guys. And but yeah, it's just a lot of parents just following their kids around. Obviously earplugs everywhere, I'm guessing. So
yeah, right.
That's one of the requirements probably.
Look at all these orange dots around the place. Earplugs.
Yeah. And the interesting part if you go out to practice, Melvin, I mean, you can show up any day you want. They're out there 3 days a week. And if a kid hits a perfect score, which is 100 in trap, they make you throw your hat down and shoot it like a 21 gun salute right there and just demolish your hat. And so they're all hanging up for all the guys that have perfect scores, which is an accomplishment in itself. When you go, a lot of those are 97 out of 100, 98 out of 100 when you get to nationals, and then they do shoot offs if you tie. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How would you rank yourself as a shooter?
I'm definitely not 97 out of 100. I can tell you that. But
if you had to put a number on it, what would you think?
I mean, I think I've done like 20 out of 25 when I went over to Burlington a couple times. So maybe 80 out of 100.
That ain't all bad.
So,
20 out of 25. That's pretty good.
That was a couple years ago.
Better than 2 out of 25 for me. Feel pretty confident in that number. 2 out of 25. Rory Kling is in studio with us, 4 Tech Northwest Athletic Director. On the horizon, you talk about fall sports, winter sports coming up, and that's when things really kick into gear for 4 Tech Northwest with basketball, wrestling. What are you kind of doing to get prepared for those seasons? And what do you think about the upcoming winter sports season?
Another crazy one. The Jayhawk Tour is Sunday. So Brad and those guys are heading down to Garden City to do the Jayhawk Tour. So that's already kicking off here in the month of September. And so then we've already nailed down travel for the most part. Jamborees are set. We're actually going to go to Iowa this year. So men's basketball used to go down to Texas or go down to Dallas when Jeremy was here. We always go out to Windsor on the men's basketball side. Ladies go to Lawrence. We've been to Wichita a couple of years, but this year both of them are going out to Iowa to go to a jamboree out there, and they get to work. The coaches get to work a little bit, so they're actually paying our teams to come out there, which is completely opposite of every other time. And then we're heading down to Hobbs, New Mexico, go to New Mexico Junior College, which is a renowned JUCO in the country. So they invited us down there. They're giving us a few $1,000 and hotels and meals to come down there for that classic. So yeah, a lot of it's travel, which is already nailed down. We've got bus drivers set, always looking for more. So if anybody out there wants to drive a bus, I will put them behind the wheel if they want to. And we've got sports all throughout the year, all the way to May, but yeah, a lot of it's eligibility right now. So making sure transcripts, grades, any past schools for the transfers, getting all that stuff done. I go through all that, and then we get going.
I have to ask about look, oh gosh, where was I going with this question? I wanted to ask about basketball. So basketball coaches, in previous years, it's kind of like cross country, and you get a coach, it's late, it's hard to recruit, it's hard to get. I mean, the coaches in Coach Smith, Coach Shaw's been here for a second year. Coach Klein, as I like to call him, Coach Klein is here, and he's been here pretty much throughout the entire summer. How much have you seen, their ability to get the rosters put together because they've been here a lot longer than sometimes when we've switched out coaches?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a huge impact. We knew basketball was a pressing one when Jake told us he had to step down and go back to Iowa to help out his dad. So that was one of the first one. And ladies are always harder. They always commit, it seems like, in November. They're ready to commit right now. There's girls already committing. They were wishing we could send out LOIs right away, but we can't until November 1st. And so, yeah, having that much, and we've got a lot more, I think a lot more talent than we've had in the past couple of years as from what I've seen in practice and stuff like that. And so a lot deeper, we've got a lot more size. So hopefully be a little more competitive, but yeah, it all goes down to when did they get here is the big factor on that part.
He is Rory Kling, Athletic Director, Fort Hays Tech Northwest. Roy, well, I'm going to let you go home and maybe you can get some sleep or something. Or just go straight through it and right to coffee.
Yeah, I'm going straight to work. So
appreciate it, Roy. Thanks again.
Okay. Yep, no problem.
Once again, Rory Kling joining us here on the Morning Blitz. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with some thoughts on the local sports schedule today and also some interesting news in the walk-off for you gamers out there. Next on the Morning Blitz.
This season, the Mile High Magic is live on Rocket 102.5. Every hit, every pick, every end zone dance, we've got it all.
5-man pressure. Rogers hit before he throws it. Sacked. PJ Locke bounced up into the air, bounced again, and then caught by Devon Vele. Touchdown, Denver.
Brought to you by
Vince's GM Center, Proxy Featured Imperial Beef, Simbleman Jewelry, Tubbs & Sons Ford Sales, F&B Bank, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC.
your home for Denver Broncos football. Rocket 102.5.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace.
Are you ready to add a touch of sparkle to your life? Look no further than Zimbelman's Jewelry, your local hometown store. At Zimbelman's Jewelry, we believe that every piece of jewelry tells a unique story, and we're here to help you find the perfect one to cherish forever. From stunning engagement rings that symbolize eternal love to exquisite necklaces that complement your style, we have a dazzling collection to suit every taste and budget. So come visit us at Zimbelman's Jewelry in downtown Burlington today and discover the magic of jewelry that celebrates life's precious moments.
This season, Cornerstone Orthodontics is proud to cheer on our local athletes. Just like great sports teams, a winning smile takes teamwork, dedication, and the right game plan. At Cornerstone Orthodontics, we're here to help you and your family score big with confident, healthy smiles that last a lifetime. Visit us at cornerstoneorthodontics.com. Locations are in Colby, Hayes, and Great Bend.
Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
Thanks again to Rory Kling for stopping in studio. It's kind of a nice kind of step up for him. You know, he kind of starts off the year a little bit slower, a couple sports, and then he hits basketball season, and it's really ramped up, and lots of things going on with that. So we push on here real quickly with some other news on the local sports side of things. I mentioned earlier in the program, Colby Community College volleyball with a sweep of Hutch yesterday. They are 3-0 in conference play, haven't dropped a set in conference play, 9-2 overall with losses to Laramie County and Northeastern Junior College, which Northeastern Junior College has a tournament this coming weekend, which is where Colby is going to be competing in. So that's what's up next for the 9-2 Lady Trojans. There is plenty of high school volleyball tonight. You got Colby on the road at Holcomb for a triangular with Hugoton. Goodland is going to be in Burlington tonight for some volleyball. Hoxie heading to Scott City for a triangular. Hill City will also be there. And St. Francis hosting a tri with Rollins County and Wapaw, Juanita Palisade, Nebraska. will be there as well for high school volleyball. Quinter has a cross-country invite today. Decatur Community, Hoxie, St. Francis, Golden Plains expected to be in attendance. Colby Community College cross-country running at the Fort Hays State Tiger Open in Hays today for some junior college cross-country. Boy, you talk about some beautiful weather for cross-country, at least right now. I mean, I don't know when it turns 92, but right now it's all about great weather. And then a lot of teams right now heading down, or I shouldn't say heading down, are going to be on their way down to, in progress, probably getting their way down to Cimarron here shortly for that golf invitational. Colby, Rollins County, Oakley, Goodland, all competing down there in Cimarron here today for some golf. How would you describe your golf game?
Not the
non-existent.
Best. Very, it's not non-existent, but I've been very inconsistent since probably my senior year at college. I haven't played since I think May. I gotta get to the course out here. I can't believe I haven't yet, but that'll come soon.
That's all right. It happens. Life gets busy and you don't have as much time. So have you played a lot? Was it something you picked up later on in life? Or
yeah, like towards the end of high school, I went to one of the branch campuses of Ohio State my freshman year, Mansfield, and I did mostly online classes. So I had a lot of time on my hands. So I would just play at like the local courses back home in Huron, and that's how I would spend a lot of my time. So I got like okay-ish. I wasn't super focused on like really getting better. I was just kind of going out there with my friends and playing. Nothing too serious, but I think now if and when I pick it back up, I think it'll probably be a little more serious.
Once again, we'll see. We'll see about golf today for the Cimarron Golf Invitational. I'm one of those guys where I only really play it in the summer because I feel like that's when I have the time, and even then I don't have as much time there. So
yeah.
Let's see. I just got a message from Rory on the text line here. I got to read this here. I'll see what he says. Let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. Do not forget about the 2025 Booster Club 4-person scramble. It's funny we didn't bring this up with Fort Hays Tech Northwest, but that's coming up here on Saturday, September 13th. The 4-person Booster Club scramble going to be happening out at Sugar Hills Golf Course. So there's also hole sponsors, cart sponsors. Team entry fees is $300. So if you want to be a part of the Fort Hays Tech Northwest Booster Club 4-person scramble, it's happening this Saturday. So yeah, get a hold of Rory if you want more information on all that stuff. He'll get you set up with that. Like we mentioned right off the quick of the show, Royals beat Cleveland last night to much of the dismay of Connor, but 4-3. Cleveland had the lead late. Royals came back and won it 4-3. Michael Garcia's double in the 7th was that big thing there. Snapped a 3-game skid for the Royals as they inch closer to a wild card spot, but still, I feel like it's just always out of reach for the Royals. It just feels like it's just out of reach.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers and Mariners are streaking right now, so it's going to be really tough to. Yeah. And the Rangers aren't even in. The Mariners still have that last spot, so it's a long road.
Yeah, long road ahead. And like we mentioned, also Rocky struck out 17 times, had 2 hits and a 9-0 shutout loss to the Dodgers. Kyle Freeland, who, by the way, he's the hometown boy. He's from Denver, Colorado. He's beloved there. He took the loss. He's 4-15. I mean, if he was not Kyle Freeland, he'd be in the minors or be cut. Kind of like Austin Gomber was here a couple weeks ago. Austin Gomber was let go.
So, I went to a Red Sox Rockies game earlier this year, and he started, and he really struggled, and I felt so bad. We were sitting near the family section for the Rockies, and they were watching him get shelled. I felt horrible.
Oh man, Fenway Park. I loved how one of the people because I was there one time. I've been to a game there. Been there, spent a game there a few years back. It's like going to church. It's the most unique park in the whole world. So cool.
Awesome.
I don't know about you, but I think I loved about Fenway Park it had a very old school feel to it, obviously, but they made it feel as new as possible in the old school feel. Like everything is smaller and tighter and more cramped, but it's all new. Get what I'm saying?
I do. I really love that. Just the layout of that stadium. I mean, there's not many bad seats either. We were kind of tucked far back, but it's still, you can see everything pretty much anywhere. There are a couple, I think when you sit on the lower deck behind home plate, if you're in the right spot, you might get caught behind a pole. But other than that,
that's true. You can. Yes, you get caught behind a pole. Did you get a call a game there?
I did not, unfortunately. That would be sweet, though.
That would have been awesome. That is for sure. Okay, we got to get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Where do you sit on video games? Are you a video game guy?
Yeah, I'm not a huge gamer or anything, but I enjoy playing all the sports games and I play video games as a way to stay in touch with friends from home. That's kind of the big.
So do you like college football 25 or 26? Did you like the return of college football, or is that not? Are you more a Madden guy?
I really enjoyed college football. I still haven't gotten the new console, so I haven't been able to play it on my own. But I played it with my friends.
Are you playing like the play? What are you playing on?
I still have an Xbox One, but they've moved a couple of generations up since that thing came out. So I'm still behind the times, even though that thing's like maybe 5-6 years old. So,
well,
yeah.
For our gamer friends out there, college football came back a couple of years ago. Now college basketball is going to be back in 2027. 2K is going to make a college basketball game, which it's funny that they bring that up after EA Sports reportedly ended its plans to have the first official basketball game. But 2K apparently is going to do that because they're going to have more programs. The more programs have signed on with 2K than they have with EA Sports, which I'm not surprised because 2K is kind of the basketball kings, and EA Sports is more football.
They are, but it's disappointing because I think 2K's official plan is to only have 100 teams in their game, and that's the cap. And EA's goal was to have every Division I team, which is, I think that's what makes games like that fun because you're able to go and rebuild like some little tiny program into a powerhouse. That's the appeal.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They start with 100 in 2027. They get all the teams by 2029. Then they're in good.
I hope so.
Hopefully that's the case. We'll see. Anyway, I'm just happy. Growing up when I was your age and stuff, we loved these games. These were the games that me and my buddies always played. So to have these games come back, it's kind of like reminiscing for me. So, all right, that does it for the program today. We'll see you back here again tomorrow in 23 hours. Have a good one. It's been the Blitz.
Classic rock plays here.